He was the #1 sensation in baseball. Everyone loved him, knew his name, and thought he'd be the future of the league. But his career has been anything but smooth.
Fernando Tatis Jr. testing positive for steroids and being suspended for 80 games.
And Tatis hurts himself on the swing.
It's gotten so bad that Fernando Tatis Jr. has opened up about fans sending him death threats. Beyond that, his own team is more than ready to move on from him. From his own recklessness, he's cost the team the thing everyone cares about the most: championships. The suspensions, the careless injuries, have all been his fault and nobody else's. This season, he's been the most disappointing player in baseball. He's fallen off worse than anybody could have imagined. Nobody believes in Fernando Tatis Jr. anymore, but why? To understand, we have to go back to the start of his baseball journey. You may have never known this, but Fernando Tatis Sr. was actually an MLB player.
Breaking ball hit into deep left center. We might see something historic. 2 grand slams by the same player in the same inning.
His father's success rubbed onto him as Jr. first signed with the White Sox when he was just 16 years old. But before ever playing a single game of professional baseball, he was traded to the Padres, who had been scouting him for years.
Right before he turned 15 years old. Actually, the same workout. I think Vladdy Guerrero Jr. was at that workout, and a couple other guys that have since gone on to do really well in pro baseball. But yeah, it was the first time I saw Fernando, and he was, I think the things that stood out, he was a very instinctive player, and you could tell he was very smart for the game.
As excited as the Padres were to have him, it wasn't quite mutual.
I was the new kid in the White Sox. I met everybody. I was, taking a pretty good ride with them, and just getting traded to San Diego. I'm the new guy again.
As a young 17-year-old in the minor leagues, he had one hell of a bat with a .278 batting average and 22 home runs. However, he was an awful shortstop, going for 30 errors and was caught stealing on the base paths on 15 separate occasions. This raised the question, should he be moved off shortstop and thrown into the outfield?
My dad taught me play all the way around, so actually I don't have any issues, but I would say stay in the middle of the field, having control of the game, so shortstop and center field would be great.
Yes, he was good, but was he good enough for Major League Baseball? He wasn't even sure of that. So to secure a financial future of some sort, he signed a deal with a third-party company.
Don't tell anyone. We'll give you $2 million today. In return, we're gonna take 10% of all of your MLB earnings.
Unsurprisingly, this business deal becomes a massive problem later on, because business isn't easy to do whatsoever, but that's why I personally use Odoo, the sponsor of today's video. For me personally, I do a lot of script writing, filming, editing, and most importantly, uploading. And that's where the Odoo Project app comes to help, an app that encourages collaboration in order to boost efficiency. You can invite people into your projects. In my case, thumbnail artists and editors would both be invited. Then, you can set tasks from music to sound design to a handful of other things that would need completed. Instead of you and your employees using multiple softwares, Odoo will make your life a lot easier. This is just one of their many apps that would inevitably make your business run better. If you are interested in using Odoo, click my link in the pinned comment or at the top of the description to consult with an Odoo expert for free today. I really hope Odoo helps you in the same way it's helped me. That's why we began this partnership. Getting back to the video, Tatis was developing into the #1 Padres prospect. He reworked his flaws and became a star. Going into 2019, he dominated in winter ball and truly proved himself as their top shortstop option in spring training. So he made their opening day roster, and the rest was history.
As soon as I got out of the office, just called my mom and to buy a flight.
Batting sixth and making his major league debut. In the air to deep left field for Tatis Jr. His first home run in the majors is a 2-run blast.
It wasn't just his amazing bat either.
Great catch. Out goes Tatis, and he'll make the catch. How about that, Fernando Tatis Jr.?
His rookie campaign ended as a runner-up for Rookie of the Year, placing 3rd behind slugger Pete Alonso.
You could just see the improvement of a young kid who came in here very raw, just very talented, knowing the game, and started exceeding at the plate. There's a big thing that they were talking about was, he strikes out and he can't be able to hit in the big leagues, and here he goes, and he's hitting 300, 330, whatever it was.
This was just the beginning. His amazing rookie season didn't just make him so likable, it was also his demeanor as a teammate.
It's easier when you see a person that is always smiling. I feel like it's always easier you can approach to them. So I'm always trying to bring that kind of energy.
He built onto his rookie year by exploding in 2020 with yet another OPS above 900. But this is where things got weird, where he pissed off everyone.
This is in the air to right field. Back it goes. Nando has done it again. Fernando Tatis Jr., a grand slam.
Little did he know, this grand slam was the most controversial thing he had done in his career because he hit it on a 3-0 count.
But this is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, Ty. Speak for your sport. Well, how does this even happen?
Hey, we'll talk to him. And then Hosmer talks to Tatis, who just hit 2 home runs, just became the kid with the most home runs in all of baseball, and look at the face he's making.
The drama hurt his reputation for doing something as simple as hitting a home run. Regardless, Tatis was legitimately one of the best hitters in the game, and the Padres knew they had to build on him. So, reinforcements came in the form of a revamped pitching staff. To lead it, former Cy Young winning pitcher Blake Snell was on his way to San Diego.
And he got him.
Right behind him was Joe Musgrove of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Musgrove with 7 strikeouts tonight.
Suddenly, this 2020 playoff team had a lot more of a reason to be taken seriously, especially with a full season of Tatis primed to break out better than we had ever seen.
If you want to be a Hall of Famer, now's the time to put it in your heads. Only the greatest get there.
He's going to lead SportsCenter. He's done it again. Another home run, and the Padres add to their advantage.
Lined and caught by Fernando! You cannot do it any better than that!
2021 was the best season of his entire career. He became the face of baseball.
Well, breaking news out of San Diego, as reportedly the Padres and Fernando Tatis Jr. are in agreement on a 14-year, $340 million contract extension.
This meant he was destined to stay in San Diego for possibly the rest of his career. But the Padres still weren't great. They actually declined, missing the playoffs. Tatis' 2021 was undoubtedly iconic, but still featured controversy. Manny Machado, his teammate, started yelling at him in the dugout one game after he struck out and called out the umpire. He told him, "It's not about you, you go play baseball." This team had to get a lot better. I mean, they needed a lot more, so that's exactly what they did in the form of Xander Bogaerts. The only problem? Well, he was a shortstop, the same position as Fernando Tatis Jr., meaning that he was being moved from the position he had played his entire career to go into the outfield. This was only a little bit of the offseason controversy.
Padres star Fernando Tatis Jr. fractured his wrist in the offseason. Team President A.J. Preller announced that today.
He attained this wrist injury from a motorcycle accident, and when the media asked him when this accident happened, he asked them which one. The idea of your best hitter being out for 3 months because of his own personal miscue is just unacceptable. He had already missed 32 games with a dislocated shoulder the year prior, so this was quite the blow. Unfortunately, his absence extended all the way into August, though he was finally supposed to come back and help the Padres make a run at the 2022 postseason. After all, they were one of the best teams in baseball and got even better adding hitter Juan Soto into their lineup. Any day, Tatis was making his return, is at least what we thought.
Fernando Tatis Jr. is facing a lengthy suspension for violating Major League Baseball's joint drug agreement.
He had to miss the rest of the season. He wouldn't play a single game for them in 2022. The worst part is that all of this happened because he used a ringworm cream that contained an illegal steroid. Tatis was outspoken against MLB for suspending him for ringworm cream. But fans were mad at him because after all, it was his own incompetence that led to this, forcing the team to make a run without him. They made it as far as 1 round away from a San Diego World Series, but in unsurprising fashion without him, they fell short. His reputation was down the drain, and this was just a year after being crowned the next major athlete of baseball. Well, going into 2023, Tatis was on the verge of returning and had a lot to prove. His prior success didn't matter anymore. All anyone cared about was 2023.
Driven to left field on a line. That's gone too. Nando goes yard again.
This one to right, Tatis. Did he hold on to it? Yes!
Throughout the year, he became a full-time right fielder and was damn good at it.
Comes Fernando to make the catch into the slide.
Padres fans still love the guy. He was great, back to being the player everyone knew. But everyone also hated him. Tatis finished 2023 worse than his 2021, but exemplified one new major aspect in his game. Defensively, he led all National League fielders with 27 defensive runs saved and won the Platinum Glove because, after all, he was the best defender this season. Then, in 2024, his performance stayed consistent and he was great. The only problem was he got injured yet again, missing more time and costing his team wins. Unreliability was becoming reality in his career, but that's not what he wanted to be remembered for. So after suffering a broken leg in 2024, he played through it and put up pretty damn good numbers. A guy with a broken leg was an MLB All-Star. He had spent years rebuilding his reputation, and it seemed to have been working. Maybe not to the level he once had, but to a level that fans respected him again. But it was 2026 where his career began to collapse again.
Fernando Tatis Jr. is actually just Jacoby Ellsbury with better PR, i.e., he just kind of sucks now.
Through the first 13 games of the season, he struck out a team-high 16 times. His swing in 2026 was broke, and it destroyed him because in his heart, he still wanted to win.
You know, I love this city, I love the fans, I love the culture, I love the vibe, and I'm all about winning, and I'm all about winning in San Diego.
Could he get back to his old self? That was the question.
Even if you want to go back to the PEDs, this guy's proven to us in the last 2 years that he is an above-average bat and capable of hitting 25 home runs.
The crazy part is, during all of his struggles, he still flashed in a handful of ways. Let me paint you a picture. Tatis has one of the highest bat speeds in baseball, one of the highest hard hit percentages. Alongside this, he was one of the best defensive specialists in baseball, so what is the matter with him? In my humble opinion, there are a few blatant things that we could point to. The first obvious issue is the amount of injuries he sustained. In 2021, most importantly, his shoulder popped out in the middle of a swing, forcing him to miss time. Then, 2022, it was surgically repaired. The injury he specifically suffered was a torn labrum that notoriously destroyed multiple people's careers in the past. Alex Spear of the Boston Red Sox said that hitters talk about losing extension in swings and the offensive approach can unravel as they fight to cover the same area. Another guy said busted shoulders equals compromised power every time. So it's fair to say that this theory makes sense, right? Well, no. Let's remember that in 2024, he hit 21 homers. In 2025, that number went up with 25 home runs. Prior to 2026, his mechanics were great. Now, his stance has changed. The way he moves the bat off his shoulder is different. His average launch angle has plummeted almost 3 degrees. He's hitting more line drives and ground balls than ever right now, and that's been 2026. Months went by, everyone wondered when he'd get his first home run of the season. We were at the end of May.
The guy makes a great catch.
Oh, here's a drive to deep left field off the bat of Nando. Gone! Home run number 1 of 2026.
And days later, he hit his second. But no matter what happened, something with his reputation is just off. And no, it's not only because of personal stuff. I have one last theory, or really one last fact. He plays for the San Diego Padres, a team that has a lot of young players. They've came up, the public eye has shifted towards them. It's no longer just Machado and Tatis, it's them and many more. The standard has gotten higher, and he isn't the 2021 player that we once knew. And that's how baseball fell out of love with Fernando Tatis Jr. Do you think Fernando Tatis Jr. will turn his career around, or will he never become a superstar again? Let me know what you think, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you did enjoy.